What's up? What's going on? Hide and read with a book haul to distract you from current events. Yeah, let's jump into it. We'll start with, I picked up some Gothics. Mask of Satan, Lucifer Cove, Book 1 by Virginia Kaufman. How could I not pick it up? I know it's book 4, but I can almost guarantee I could read this and not really be bothered by not reading 1, 2, or 3 first. So I like the title. I like the cover. I haven't read too many Gothics. And, looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. And then I picked up another one from this author because I was looking for books 1, 2, and 3 in the used bookstore. They didn't have them, but this has 2 shorter Gothic stories, The Hounds of Hell and The Villa Fountains. Also by Virginia Kaufman. Don't know anything about the author, really. Haven't read too many Gothic genre books, but there's 2 here. So, and then kind of just, I don't know, it just happened. Also picked up The Horror of Oakendale Abbey by Mrs. Carver, which is a Gothic novel from like 1797. Let's see, how did I do? Yeah, 1797, so considerably older. It has an introduction by Kurt Hare. Don't know this guy or woman or whatever, but I did read the introduction. It's pretty interesting. It explains the difference between male and female Gothics, and after I read this, I'll rant and rave about that, and we'll get deeper into that. Following along in this theme, I have some historical horror. Chelsea Quinn Yarbrough, A Flame in Byzantium. Yeah, it just seemed pretty cool. The main character is a vampire, and she's like 600 years old or something, and she like goes through history to like different courts and like ingratiates herself, and all the historical drama ensues. I think this one involves Belisarius, and yeah, we'll find out. It sounded pretty cool. Might be a while before I get to that. Let's see. Decameron. It's like a medieval kind of classic that just like goes around the Black Death. Kind of just just kind of detailing different vocations and like different locations, and all kinds of stuff of medieval history, but contemporary. So should be fun. Again, might be a while before I get to that, but I would like to read it. I've been getting rid of lots of my books, and one of the tougher things for me to get rid of was like I always just buy Alice in Wonderland or Through the Looking Glass in different editions when I see them, if I haven't had them before. Most of the time I give them away, but I just kind of ended up with a lot of them. So I think I donated all of them. I might have one left or something, but I figured it was fair to replace them with the complete illustrated works of Lewis Carroll. All the stuff I picked up at the used bookstore, I have a lot of credit because I also been taking my books there as well as donating them to the public libraries. Everything actually that you'll see in here is from that used bookstore, except for regrettably one thing, and I just had to go to the store that we will not mention.
We right here in front of Barney's and Nobley, nigga. Every day. Came in here and got all your books, nigga. Every day, nigga. You know what I mean?
And pick up Lord of the Mysteries. This is number 2 now. Going through the animated series right now, watching that, it's really good.
You have drawn the fool.
There's so many different elements in this series. It's kind of hard to explain, but the author's name is Cuttlefish That Loves Dying. Are you interested yet? You could at least look it up. Here's the back cover. Back cover's pretty cool. Earlier in the year, I was reading, what is this book? By Zelazny. You know, the really Amber, series of Amber, which I just, you know, I didn't hate it, but I just wasn't enjoying it enough to keep reading it. Maybe I read the 3rd one. Maybe I only finished the 2nd one. I don't remember. But that was one of the books that ended up getting donated because I just wasn't terribly interested in it. And I have other Zelazny books that I'm just more curious about. And so maybe in the future we'll go back to Amber. But one of the cool things in that series was the main character is like contemporary to our time, but gets put into like this different world, and they like bring some elements of that world into this alternate one. And the same thing happens in Lord of the Mysteries. I'm sure Mr. Cuttlefish That Loves Dying must be a fan of the Amber series, because they also include the tarot system, tarot cards that are from our world, and they a previous character brings it into existence in this alternate kind of dimension. So it's very interesting. Very cool. It's a very cool series. Lots of stuff going on in here. Lots of Easter eggs. If you like know your kind of like Western magic tradition, like, you know, mostly from like Victorian times, like all that spiritualism stuff, like all the way up through like Theosophy, Golden Dawn, Rosicrucian. Like if you're familiar with this kind of stuff, you gotta at least check out the cartoons. Pretty crazy. But yeah, the books are fun to read. Anyway, then this obsession with Faust, Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe. I actually finished reading this one, so you'll see it in the recent reads or whatever for this month, and we'll talk about it then. But I also want to just talk about Faust at some point. But yeah, I really like this. Christopher Marlowe is a contemporary of William Shakespeare, and the writing in it is amazing. I'm not that familiar with Shakespeare, but I've read Macbeth a couple times, and I really enjoy Macbeth. And this is going to be probably one of those things too that I'm going to have to reread a few times. And it's really cool because you get the original language. It's not a translation, and there's just something nice about that, in my opinion. It's frustrating sometimes, like only being able to read and speak English, because there's lots of books that I read in other languages that I really admire, but it's like I know that I'm not getting everything, you know. I'm just getting like an idea of it, and so yeah, it was cool to read something in the original language. And here's the more popular Faust by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. We'll just call him Goethe from this point forward, because that's how German people pronounce it. I would say Goethe, but we're going to say Goethe. Am I pronouncing that correct? If you know better than me, let me know. But yeah, this is the more well-known one. There's a bunch of like footnotes. It's the Norton Critical Edition for Smarty Pants. I'll probably just read through it like a dummy without looking at the footnotes for the first time. But yeah, Faust. You gotta read this Faust for sure if you want to talk about Faust, right? Yeah, all this kind of like came together. One, Dustin Neely was like kind of obsessed about it. Maybe he still is. I just kind of accidentally ran into it. One, by reading Decline of the West by Oswald Spengler and listening to this opera a couple times, and it just kind of brought up a lot of questions about this like Faustian kind of myth. If you're interested in that, kind of something parallel, there's this, I guess you could call him a philosopher, Rudolf Steiner. He's German, and he is a big reader, I guess you could say, or student of Goethe, and he has this philosophy about good and evil, and it's like this dialectic kind of setup, but it breaks dialectics, and it has to do with these two spiritual entities, Lucifer and Armin, and how they kind of like pull man apart, like apart and up and down at the same time, which I think he must have come up with from reading Faust. I'm almost positive, but I'm not sure. Hopefully by the end of the year I'll have like a really cool Faust video with edits and all kinds of factual information. Fingers crossed. Don't hold your breath. It's me we're talking about. But anyway, I picked up History of Saint Monica. I don't know this author. But it's an older book. It's Catholic. Saint Monica is the mother of Augustine, and Augustine is like the preeminent philosopher for Christian faith. So, and his story is pretty cool. Saint Augustine's Confessions. Even if you're not into like Catholicism or Orthodox Christianity or what have you, yeah, Confessions of Saint Augustine is just good reading, to be honest. I highly suggest you check it out if you haven't already. More religious stuff. This is the last book here. A lot lighter. Thich Nhat Hanh, Living Buddha, Living Christ. Yeah, Thich Nhat Hanh is just a very pleasant Theravada monk. I know that he passed away a couple years ago, I believe, or maybe last year. But yeah, he's just very pleasant, and he writes in a very pleasant way. I don't know if he's writing or these are like speeches that he does and somebody writes them down, but yeah, he just has a very kind of grounded, approachable way of thinking about things. Yeah, he's got a ton of books out there. So, I saw this one. I haven't read it. It'll take me like an hour or so to read, and then I'll pass it on to the next human being. So that's what I got. Not terribly exciting. Just kind of wanted to, stay relevant. This isn't like, this doesn't seem to be like a big Booktube year for the channel. But hey, we're still here. And until next time, find somewhere to hide, find something to read. Peace.